Thank you very much. And with us, we have also another guest from Michigan, who actually is right now located in Michigan, Mr. Peter Rosinski from DKA, who will introduce his company and also some of the challenges they have been facing. So who we are this time as opposed to yesterday. This will be about the DKA and DKK. As I said, well, they were facing some challenges, and we were helping them. We have a long-term business relationship, almost 5 years now. And as Jonathan already mentioned, we have a new product in place called pimCloud, which is a perfect fit, as it will turn out in this presentation, with your new product, printCloud, to solve a big problem which DKA is facing right now. So, well, having said that, without too much ado, I would like to hand over to my friend and client, Mr. Peter Rosinski.
Thank you, Dirk, or shall I say, thank you, Data Meister. And good day to you, everyone there in attendance. I'm going to start today's talk a little bit about zirconium. So the heading on this slide, do you all remember this? This is about zirconium, number 40 on the periodic table. And having been educated in the US, I have to think back to high school days to remember studying zirconium as a transition metal. And that is to say, one of those chemical elements that have electrons available to form chemical bonds. Zirconium, like other transition metals, has metallic character. In other words, its atoms readily lose electrons. And some characteristics of these elements are that they often form colored compounds. They work well as catalysts. They are silver metals at room temperature, except for copper and gold, of course. And with the exception of they tend to be solids at room temperature. They're also good electrical and thermal conductors. So why do I say this? So zirconium also exhibits other interesting properties like ionic conductivity that were of enough significance that they played a huge role in the mission of our company. I specifically work for DKK America Materials Incorporated, or as we like to say for short, DKA. We are a 100% subsidiary company of our parent Daiichi, Kigenso, Kagaku, Kogyo Company Limited, or DKK for short. DKK formed nearly 70 years ago and is headquartered in Osaka, Japan. When starting out to develop its first product, our founders early on discovered that zirconium exhibited many unique properties. At the time of its founding, no one else was working on unlocking the potential of zirconium, so it became the mission of our company. From its humble beginnings, DKK has grown into a global leader in the development and production of zirconium compounds. While you may not recall too much from high school chemistry and zirconium's place in the periodic table of elements, you have likely encountered zirconia, that is to say the oxide of zirconium, and its compounds made from zirconium in your daily life. Some areas include dental implants, crowns, and bridges, which benefit not only from zirconia's strength, toughness, and characteristics of both opacity and transparency, but also by its biocompatibility with the human body as an ideal material that closely mimics the function and appearance of natural teeth. In the area of fuel cell technology, zirconium's ability for ionic conductivity make it an ideal material for use as a solid electrolyte in fuel cell stacks. And again, thanks to ionic conductivity, industrial and automotive catalysts benefit from low-cost zirconia that can largely replace the use of precious metals. Other areas include coatings and jewelry, think about cubic zirconia, oxygen sensors, brakes and refractory applications, as well as ceramic knives. So let me speak for a moment about how and why we are challenged in promoting this fascinating material. Any international company has challenges regarding how to serve its customers. Our company in the United States is tasked with quickly developing new business relationships. As a young company, we have limited technical resource available in the US. R&D and production are located in Japan. Our speed and response depends on getting information to customers as soon as they ask for it, whether it's product specification, lab results, or even material handling information. Being able to compile and distribute information can be difficult. As you are all familiar, many people must come together. In our case, that's across 13 time zones or 14 time zones during the winter months. We met with Digital Consulting House to discuss solutions to this condition, and Dirk will now talk to you in a little bit more detail about what that has entailed.
Thank you, Peter. So a couple of years ago, DKA started to engage us in the subject of digital marketing. And part of sales and marketing is also at the end when you are talking to a potential customer to provide the customer the information they require, right? And this picture, which you are seeing here, again, it's all too familiar. You know that from other projects you are doing in your daily life, and may it be if you are on the product side, on the consulting side, or also if you are a manufacturer, retailer, or distribution company. Well, information exists, but it exists in different places. It exists with different people, different departments, and mostly it lies somewhere either on a real or on a virtual desk, right? And when it comes to these brochures, pre-print, and a lot of companies are still in that phase. They still do copy and paste. I still own one of these print cups where it says no more copy and paste. Right? I can tell you out of the field, there are still lots of people doing exactly this. Right? They are using InDesign basically as like you would use Word, but without the serial letter function. Right? So we went into medias res a couple of months ago because at the same time, in parallel, we were developing a small product on our own, which we called pimCloud, how to maybe approach this. And we have a certain way how we always approach things. We always look at what I call the 4+1 dimensions of excellence. Right? These are the 4, again, +1 ingredients which you require for any endeavor. Right? Organizing a print day requires these, but also getting your data in order requires the same kind of ingredients, which are, first of all, and that is the most important part of it. A lot of people start with technology. Well, we need to buy a PIM or MDM software. We need to buy a print automation software, right? But where you really should start with are the people. Because without a properly organized team, without a defined governance, without someone who is in charge of the data and the quality of your data, well, it will always be, as I said yesterday, every day will be Groundhog Day, right? You look at that, either that groundhog or that big elephant, which I call it, and that is the data, right? If you don't have good data quality, you won't be able to do anything without having the people in place who are in charge of your data quality. Without a governance, as I call it, not so much you can achieve. So then the second very important ingredient is what these people have in their heads, their knowledge. And that cannot be replaced necessarily, at least not right now, by Mr. Artificial Intelligence. So people should still know what they are doing, or you have to make sure they know what they are doing, right? Then the next piece, and that is also not necessarily technical, the next ingredient is the process, right? Process, which means just working instructions, a way how a team agreed to work with each other, right? But it could be also, of course, technical workflows across applications, right? That's going already more into the technical side, for which you then need at the very end, that's the last thought of the first 4 ingredients, the tools, right? You want to work with the right tools. However, to stay in that analogy, not every problem is a nail, so hence using always the same hammer might not be that beneficial. And selecting the tool before having thought through what you actually wanted to do, in most cases also will not provide the results you're looking for. Which leads me to the fifth ingredient, and that is culture. Culture is also the willingness of a team to work together. Because remember the first picture, you had these silos. So if these people in these silos, in these departments, are not bound by a common will, typically that comes from the top, right? Also you say the fish is thinking from the head. So instilling a culture of data quality, instilling a culture of collaboration, and instilling a culture of change, because all of this requires change, and people do not like change, requires leadership, right? So without leadership, without the culture in the team, it's hard to achieve anything. So we are usually starting with that. We do an assessment of where are you right now? How are you doing things? Who is working on what? How does your governance look like? And how does your tool look like? And where are your biggest challenges, right? Typically, the biggest challenge is always collaboration, right? And collaboration leads to problems with exchanging information. Problems with exchanging information lead to bad data, right? So data is what you wanted to achieve, but again, you have to look at these four pieces. Then the next thing is when you start any new endeavor, it's good to define what success look like. So define some SMART goals, and in this case, SMART is also an acronym. SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. So if I say I want to improve my data quality, well, is that a goal? Well, it is a statement for sure, but it's not a goal, at least not a SMART goal, because it's not telling you anything specific about what does that mean and by when do I want to achieve it. If I say for the top 10 top sellers, my products, I want to make sure that by end of 2024, I have at least images, short and long description, and all the technical attributes being populated, that will be a SMART goal because it's specific, you can measure it, hopefully it's achievable, that depends, right? And it's in your realm, and it has a time goal, right? So that will be a SMART goal, right? And it's good to have them defined, you know, what you want to achieve before you go any further, because and you can always use these SMART goals to manage expectations. Also manage expectations. Let's assume you are in charge of such a project towards your own management, and you can always look at these goals to decide, okay, what is the next step? Or is this strategy which I want to apply, does it really help me to get to my goals, right? And then next step is we define a process. So this is one example process diagram where you have obviously some kind of software like a PIM or master data management in the middle, where information comes in from various sources and where it's then being used within the application landscape. And sometimes there can be also feedback coming back from the customer or from these applications. So that is what we typically draw, also a process map, right? And then we also model the data, and especially in the case if you start from scratch, it's always a good starting point to look at what kind of information do my customers need? What do I put out typically on my website? In the case of DKK, it's really all being done manually. So there are people doing HTML development. Well, in the case of the US website, which is already managed by us, we have a CMS behind it. But the Japanese folk, they do that all by copy and paste. And they also make all of these data sheets for thousands of different potential compounds all manually, right? And looking at this, then there is something you can do. It's called publication analysis. I learned that here in one of the trainings actually, and find out, okay, what is the information I really need? And as I said, we have just recently launched a little software called pimCloud, which helps you defining a flexible data model and then use the data in various purposes. So it actually led us to a picture which looks more like this, right? So this shows basically what product information management, what a media asset management and planning suite can do for you. Information comes in, you can use it at the various channels, and obviously you are doing it to gain some business advantages, right? Most of them should be very well known to you as you are in this business: faster time to market, higher conversion rates, higher revenues, and higher margins, right? Make more money. So this is a specific picture we designed and we implemented for DKA. So instead of having all these people in these silos being separated from each other, they now put their information into pimCloud, right? And once you have all your data, your content, your scientific results, your picture and everything in one place, you can do something with it, right? You can populate your website without copy and paste, just from one place. The sales folks, when they get a request now from R&D lab of one of their customers, right, they can just provide them with the data on a fingertip or produce these data sheets and these brochures also directly on demand, right? So, and I would like to show that a little bit. We have a demo here, a couple of minutes, where I show how this works. So we have integrated pimCloud, our own software, with pimCloud, and pimCloud automatically produces on demand, on a fingertip, these kind of data sheets. So basically it works that we have an interface built, API interface into pimCloud. We send a message, we send an XML message, for instance, render me a new data sheet based on a template which we created in InDesign. And once you push that button, the PDF comes back and, well, any of these data sheets are being created. Let's look at it.
In this video, I will show you how easy it is to generate a PDF using the print integration in our pimCloud. To do this, we navigate to an item, and we click our Generate PDF button. This will generate the PDF, and it usually takes about 30 seconds to a minute. But then when it's done, you can right-click on your product and view the PDF.
Well, as easy as that. Someone is asking for their data, you have it. Obviously, there was some work included inside, but it didn't take really that long, so we were pretty happy about it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good one.